daybreak on Arise News that it's time for the press preview. First look at what's on the front pages. And as usual, we start with our sister publication, This Day newspaper. This day has on its front page, it says National Assembly passes 2023 budget, raises proposed spending by 1.32 trillion to 21.82 trillion. It has some riders there. Works and Housing, Defense Ministry gets highest allocation, approves 819.54 billion 2022 supplementary budget. They are joining plenary to January 17, and fresh borrowing to be sourced from CBN to finance projects. Let's look at some other stories on this front page of This Day. It says 2023 poll, be professional, political. Buhari wants security agencies. And then Uzodimma mourns as Subiozo, the leader of Ohaneze and Dibo, dies at 80. Then in that white strip just below the nameplate, PDP considers expulsion of G5 governors, dissolution of party structures in their states. That's on This Day newspaper.
The Nation this morning, leading headline on the front page, 2023, Wike, Makinde, others for close support for Atiku. G5 governors reject peace offer from South-South leaders. More headlines here. National Assembly raises budget 2023 by 1.32 trillion as Senate steps down Buhari's plan on 22.7 trillion naira CBN loans. Ohaneze president Obiozo dies at 80, just above the nameplate of The Nation this morning. IG orders suspension of killer ASP Vandy. Meanwhile, on the new Naira note, Senate urges CBN to shift deadline to June 30th.
Let's look at the Guardian newspaper. Guardian has on its front page, Russia-Ukrainian war, where all victims. Then you go just down below that map there, that blue-green map, you see Calabar Carnival tragedy. Death toll now 8. Relatives narrate ordeal. Uproar as lawmakers hold Buhari's 2.7 trillion CBN naira CBN overdraft. Okay, 21.8 trillion budget. Fanny Ferret asked NICOM, and then Wike. Well, this is interesting. It says Wike killed Igbo presidency. Says Ohaneze youths. I don't understand that. Wike, the governor of Rivers State.
Let's take a look at the Punch. PDP threatens sanctions as G5 governors meet Tinubu in the UK. Those leading photos there. Calabar depths, Cross River PDP lampoons Ayade for going ahead with Carnival.
All right, to some foreign newspapers now. The I paper. It says unions poised to boycott pay talks as strike now deepens.
The Independent this morning, Russia steps up Ukraine bombardment. More headlines, Union Chief, UK could face a year of strike chaos.
The Daily Telegraph, extremist groups funded by taxpayer. And BBC is going for woke in rewriting British history.
And for the press review, let's bring in Emmanuel Ballo, who joins us this morning. Emmanuel, good morning. Thanks for being here. Let's begin with the 2023 budget. National Assembly passes that budget and raised proposed spending by 1.32 trillion to 21.82 trillion naira. One of the contentions was the Senate dropping President's 23.7 trillion naira Ways and Means advances request. What are your thoughts, Emmanuel?
Well, it's a good thing that these days, focusing on the budget. I think it's the only paper that is leading with budget. Budget concerns every one of us, and I think it's all just apt that it's zeroing it. The story itself is a very thick one with a lot of figures, and Nkechido, what you just raised about the Senate actually not granting aspects of the request of the president, which is something we don't see every day. Normally, the president gets his way around the Senate, but this time around, he didn't get all that he's looking for. But the larger picture is the budget itself and where the bulk of the money is going to. So it's an interesting story. While it's very tacky, especially with the figures and the breakdowns, the story is very detailed about that. I think the bullet points on the front page of the story almost gave a summary of what I think everybody, you and I, will be much more concerned where those monies will be going next year, how those monies will be sourced, and how the budget is going to fare. It's very important because if we don't get the budget right, we probably won't get it right. And this budget is the last, clearly, of this administration. And so I think all eyes will be on it to see how it performs in the economy. So basically, I'm sure a lot of people will be weighing on it as the day goes on. There are a lot of analysts will be looking at this budget. What is it going to change? How is it going to affect our life? A lot of the money is going to security because that seems to be one of the biggest challenge right now. So I guess it's an interesting budget, and it's a good thing that we're focusing on it. I miss all the other political stories to look at the budget that could shape the way we fare in 2023.
Talking about political stories, we'll go to Nation, the Nation newspaper. 2023, Wike marking the others for close support for Atiku. G5 governors reject peace offer from South leaders. That's not the only interesting story there. IG orders suspension of killer ASP Vandi. And then new narrow note. Senate urges CBN to shift date to June 30. Emmanuel.
Yeah, very interesting story, and it's of course
Of course, Johannes Ndibo, president.
Yes, that's but the lead story on Wiki, it's a huge one. I think 2 or 3 newspapers are leading with that. The back and forth, almost like an unending kind of soap opera. You wonder where this is heading, but it's like this is endgame. It's gotten to a head now, and from all indication, I think there's been breakdown of talks between Atiku and those G5 governors. In fact, some of the reports in the newspaper is suggesting that in January, I think we will be very clear about where the G5 will be going. Some people reporting too that it's not all well with, they actually have to weigh all the options between the Labour Party candidate and Tinubu, but of course foreclosing all of that for Atiku. So it's an interesting story, and I think 2 or 3 newspapers are leading with it, looking at it from various perspectives. The Punch, for instance, looking at it from the perspective of how the PDP is reacting to it, saying that, look, if you do this is what we're going to do. Some people probably say that that's already too late. But I think for me, it's what Dele Momodu said that is punchy for me in all of this. He said, look, we've been through all this, throughout this, since after the convention. That's all we get to hear, the dancing, the theatrics, the dramas of Wike and his friends. But it's all of us just want a closure to this. I mean, I think it's just like when you're going through a harrowing experience that you just want to know, so what's the end of it? And so Dele Momodu is saying that this has to come to some kind of closure so that we know what to do. A lot of Nigerians will also be looking forward to January. Maybe that will be the end of the G5 drama, and of course they'll be able to back a candidate of the choice. The other day it's speculated that it's going to be the Obasanjo's choice that they will go, but now it's like they're having meetings with Tinubu. So I don't know about Nkechi and Indy, but I'm getting tired of this one. And Dele Momodu actually so summed it up that, look, see, let's just they should just do whatever they have to do so that we'll just get through with this. And all of us.
Who was that said, do what you want to? I think that was the film, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yes, that if you want to shoot and stop talking. So it's like this going to London. It's almost like deja vu. It's happening again and again, almost like some broken record. Today Wike will say this, or Tom will say the other thing. And, of course, it's providing some form of drama, political drama out there, and it's interesting. And if you're looking for stories, a lot of bits there for a lot of stories, stuff there to make stories with. But if you are PDP or any of the parties, you just want to see a closure and end to all of this. I think January seems to be now the deadline when the G5 will decide who they are going to back. After that, the campaigns will have to decide how to deal with it.
Well, it all sounds a bit chaotic. Quickly, Manuel, before we let you go, Calabar deaths on the front page of the Punch newspaper. The governor is being lampooned for going on ahead with that carnival where they had that tragic crash that killed at least 6 people and wounded more than 20 people.
Yes, and before that, the Guardian too has an interesting, opinion page on the front cover where it gives its person of the year, and it says all of us victims of decisions by leadership, the Russian-Ukrainian crisis, how it affects you and I, Nkechi, all of us, ordinary people. So yeah, if you look at that, it's been a year of tragedy, and the Calabar Carnival just brings, some of this tragic situation back home, where you have a situation where and now from this story, it appears again, it is because of the lack of foresight of leadership and the need to actually nip things in the bud, think ahead of time, and try to take decisions that we stop this loss of human lives. It's a testimony to how leadership has not been able to curtail some of these things in the country. I mean, what citizens would naturally want to do.
For the families of abusers, we can only say God grant them grace to bear that loss. Thank you so much, Emmanuel Bello there. Well, that's the press preview. Let's hear your view on all the burning issues. Follow us on Twitter at Arise TV. You can join today's conversation using the hashtag at Arise Daybreak. And that's it for today. Up next is the morning show. It's a full day ahead, and every moment indeed does matter. I am Ndi Amuko.
And I'm Nkechi Nana. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.